Wow.
Perfect. Okay.
Eugene, you got to know how much it's done for us that you just moved that chair a little bit.
I know. It's so much better.
Yeah.
We can see the screen now.
And that you now have what's going on the screen, on that screen.
Thanks.
So that we can actually see the...
Thanks is what we're saying.
You know.
Yeah.
Combat.
I couldn't have done it without you. Okay. We're doing this now? Yes?
Sure.
Great. Okay. Yeah. Well.
Tell the people.
Streamlabs, you're on notice from the official Hasbro account. Mm-hmm. Shape up. Don't change your settings on me again.
The Wizards of the Coast are watching.
Yes, we...
Wizards of the Coast Guard.
We shall consult the wizards about this, and they will be none too pleased. Well, anyway, as I'm sure it has been made clear to you by now, I'm Eugene, he, him, Dungeon Master.
I'm Alec, he, him. I'm playing Eric. He is of the MCDM special class of the Talent, which is a psionic, and he's a sad little boy.
Sad little boy.
I'm Li Shen. Pronouns are she, her. I am playing Lady Lon, and this is Bartholomew, who sometimes plays with us.
I am Nick, he, him. I am playing Father Esquivel, a cleric.
A cleric. Hello, I'm Lore. My pronouns are they, them, and he, him. I play Rowan, the Circle of Stars druid who is Scottish and hates Catholicism.
We'll skip the intro video this time because you've had a lot of intro time. And let's just get right into the action, catch up with what's going on. So when last we left these adventurers, these heroes, you had just returned the bones of St. Andrel to St. Andrel's church in order to allow the church leadership, primarily Father Lucian, to recast the sanctuary incantation before it expired and give your traveling companion, Irina Kolyanova, a safe place to stay. Yeah, which is cool. Safe from Strahd von Zarovich, Baron of these lands. After that, even though you had been pretty beat up after a fight with some sort of vampiric nasty in a dilapidated wedding dress, you went to Blinsky's Toys, remembering that Madame Ava, a seer who left you with a cryptic message, gave you a bit of an errand to run for her, bringing a doll to Arabelle, her niece, a Vistani staying close to Vallaki. You tried to do that by getting a stuffed tiger doll from among the many strange oddities at Blinsky's, including a lot of dolls of Irina Kolyanova herself.
I like that.
Yep. Very weird. You took the tiger, and you learned that they had been apparently made by the captain of the guard and retainer of the Baron of these lands, Victor.
Made for, not made by.
Yes, made for. Baron Vargas Valakovich, not Victor. You took the stuffed tiger you got to a Vistani camp in order to meet with Arabelle, and there you found her father, Luvash, and his brother, Aragol, giving a spirited dressing down to another Vistani, Alexei. A Vistano? Vistana, I think, is the term. Alexei, who apparently had been charged with watching Arabelle and lost her, having been plied with drink by Jan, another Vistana. It turned out that they couldn't find Arabelle, but they did find Jan's decapitated body, which they brought back to camp. And also mentioned that they had found a curious ring. They gave the ring to Sartok, one of the last members of the Mongol tribe that had been sort of stranded in Barovia after the lands were taken over, but someone who has a lot of experience and a lot of learning, but still wasn't able to place the origin of the ring. He directed you to maybe have another look at the most robust library in these lands, the library of Baron Velakovich. But you decided, probably wisely, that before doing that, you would go back to the Blue Water Inn and have a rest. You said goodnight to the kids, said goodnight to Rictavio, the other boarder there.
Boo.
And find yourself... You don't like him?
Eric doesn't like him.
Eric doesn't like Rictavio? Nor the kids, really.
No, he's...
Does anybody like
flashy
Rictavio?
shit.
Rictavio is beloved apparently by the patrons of the inn and Erwin Mardukov, who gave him free room and board while he continues to entertain people.
Seems like a swindler to me.
He's suspicious.
Yeah, and you did try to mess with his hat, which
Yeah.
he really didn't care for.
Yeah, he seemed to hate that.
Did seem to hate that. So you all went to bed and awaken in the morning at the Blue Water Inn, where you find yourselves in a calm and serene breakfast in the common room. And Erwin, once again, this morning as well, hands over to Rictavio a parcel. Rictavio looks at you a little irritated, remembering the events of last night, and heads off. Didn't know that you were the perpetrators, of course, but he was a little embarrassed in front of you. And heads off over to wherever he's going. Erwin then says goodbye to the kids, who you hear are going to the Hab and Dash leatherworker for just sort of get their zoomies out. They were getting underfoot at the inn. And he asks, and no need to share, of course, if it's private, but what are your plans for the day? Do you need any help?
Well, we had planned to seek out Velakovich and make various entreaties, ask for a small favor, and if you have any advice in that arena, we would welcome it, or some way of appealing to the man.
Well, as I told you yesterday morning, he is a man who likes a well-placed compliment, and even some that are not so well-placed. His ego prevents him from seeing through the facetious ones. He'll take them at face value.
Well, we do travel with a noble who should be well versed in the art of flattery, even if she's not, naturally predisposed to do it so often.
At this, Danica emerges from the kitchen with some more biscuits and says, "Woo! And I do think we've kept her at least smelling good." So
Acceptable, given the circumstances.
we can only do so much. But I must say you're smelling wonderful.
Thank you. Lady Lon is like, there's like no, you would not know that like yesterday she was basically at death's door. She looks like not a hair out of place.
Erwin, I think you're needed in the stables, and maybe our guests would like some privacy this morning. And he says, "Oh, right. Yes, stables." And heads off. So, if there's anything else you'd like to do, me know.
Just last time the Mongol guy said that I would have to at some point find the healers in Krusk. How far is that? Just for my planning purposes. Nobody knows.
To look at your map. Well, they both left.
Okay, well I can ask them later.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do it.
Does it have town? Oh, it does.
Yes, there's Barovia right there. There's
So cool.
Valaki. And Kresk is over here.
Okay. So it looks like we're talking a day and a half or something.
Yeah, like about half the distance
that it took us to
we
get from.
came from
Well, we
Barovia to Valaki.
Stayed here sort of one-ish. Yeah.
You
Not
spent one night on the way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Well, no, two nights, because you stayed at the Vistani camp one night and then on the road another night.
Yeah.
okay.
That's right.
Well, I have 4 days before I turn into a werewolf. So
It's a lot of time.
Plenty of time. Who's rushing? No one.
don't let me stop you from.
Where to?
Well, are we all clear on how best to
See,
approach?
he's looking.
He's got
Yeah,
a
he's
little face in there.
Hi, buddy.
Wouldn't you?
Well, he's curious about what's going on in here.
How best to approach dealing with this with the Burgomaster?
I was whining, but okay.
I think perhaps we should ask for the favor first, and then maybe ask about if we intend to, ask about the refugees maybe after we've
Yes.
pursued the favor, and if he is willing to let us into the library. We don't want to put him off before we... Okay.
I think that's a good call.
Yeah.
Never know how folk like that are gonna react when, you ask them to think about others than themselves.
I did also want to ask, so we have this, and I pull out the, I suppose it's a turban of disguise? Or is it
Yeah.
just, and go, I've been carrying this. Is there anyone who best to sort of take this on as a... I was thinking, Eric, you might like it even just for the purposes of maybe appearing
would people talk to me less?
And I start looking at the others does anyone else know a more tactful way to say this? Maybe
Probably draw less attention and
perhaps giving you a healthful...
You want me to look like an adult? Okay.
It won't help with the smell, but
Sure. We can try it out.
If people will talk to me less, I'll do it.
I don't know that the problem right now is getting people to talk to you. I think that problem has already been solved. I was just thinking the hat might help you.
Sure, I'll take it.
Okay, well, why don't you show us what you were thinking of looking like? Just for fun.
Okay, I'll look like an... Okay. So I put it on, and before you stands a really suave, handsome man with a big curly mustache, dressed very, very fancily.
Looks like Rictavio?
Yeah, he's got a big, but like bigger. Like he hates Rictavio, but he looks like big feather,
Right.
huge. The feather is twice the size of the thing.
His problem with Rictavio is that he wasn't big enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be
Perhaps,
unclear.
Perhaps
I mean,
a little
this
more.
Is so far, this is all subconscious. So this is not what he. This is just what happened.
Yeah.
Perhaps a disguise a little less conspicuous.
So he thinks for a second, and then he just turns into just bleeding vagrant.
I guess
You
I'm
wanna-
just a little surprised this was the second draft.
Do you want to draw something?
Start drawing. Get a stick and draw a normal ass man in the dirt.
Suppose if the choice is between
Why
the
don't
two,
you-
then I
Why don't you name
would do
someone
the
that
first.
we've seen?
What
and
about
I
that
can,
guy,
I can,
the nephew from the store?
Okay.
The really nice nephew. What was that guy's name?
Idiot. the big and
Oh, he's got a name that matches his demeanor.
yeah, it was something like
Like
stick
or berry,
brick.
something berry.
Oh, that you're on.
Like,
Yeah.
Periwinkle?
Perry.
Yeah, I'll look like Periwinkle. I'll be Periwinkle. I'll be a slightly different version of Periwinkle.
Are you trying to be the same? Because he was huge. Are you trying to be like
Smaller.
a shrunk down?
I'll be a smaller
Okay.
Yeah.
version. Slightly bigger than me, though. I can be a medium.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm pretty sure.
I think that's right.
Yeah,
Well, I don't think you're small
I think I might be.
because you're a child. You're
Yeah.
No, not
I could
small.
be medium.
You're medium. You're medium.
yeah, you're still human.
Because even like a dwarf is medium,
Okay.
and you're not a gnome.
Okay.
You're 12 years old, for crying out loud.
And how much bigger than a hobbit am I? Halfling. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
In
You
our
might-
other
Get us
campaign,
sued, man.
we have 4 players and 3 are under 3 feet tall. And it was like not planned, and we all showed up on the first day and was like, so I'm like really small.
One is a kobold, so like a 1.5 feet tall.
Nice.
One is a kobold, one is a dwarf, and my character is an automaton, like a toy.
Ah.
So, yeah.
Played a
small.
D&D game with Derek Moss one time, which was very funny because he was just very like, oh, well, whatever. And he was like, Mr. Sword was his name.
Yeah.
And he was a hobbit, and they were like, well, describe yourself. And he's like, well, I'm 4 apples tall.
I played with a rogue called Dagger Vans once. It's kind of similar to Mr. Sword.
Mr. Sword. God damn it.
Yeah. Well, unless there was any other business, I suppose we should head out. Was there anything else on the agenda for this morning's touch base?
Biscuits?
I can't think of anything else, but I do think that we probably shouldn't go over to the Burgomaster's house until it's a little later in the day. If we're knocking on his door a couple hours after the cock crows, he might be even less likely to lend us aid.
Well, is there something we would like to have? We can, I have 38 gold pieces. We could go attempt to... Or wait, hold on. I have 15.
Oh!
I have 15 on my sheet and 38.
Oh no! What's happened? Your finances are dropping by the second.
Yeah.
2 sets of books. It's not
I've
looking good.
been skimming off of our small business. Whoops! Declared too much.
Applied for a bunch of PPP loans a few years back.
Paladin, priest, polearm.
Oh yeah, you made it.
There he is.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh.
Come on. If you're mad at me, that's who you're mad at.
Is that Eric? Oh. Kind of looks like Helena Bonham Carter's character in Fight Club a little bit.
It kind of looks like a tiny Spencer.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say he looks like Child Zagreus.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, so you're trying to go shopping.
Or at least something to eat up maybe in a couple hours before seeking out the Burgomaster. If he's having a lie-in, we don't want to interrupt.
Sure. There are a few establishments around town where you can go shop. A lot of them are around Arisek Stockyard, where you saw the wagon, as well as, of course, Henrik, the coffin maker / carpenters.
Should I let him in?
No. So, yeah, there's those options. You could also see what else there is to see about town, I suppose. But it's probably easier to find something if you're looking for it.
Nice.
I don't know what stuff there is.
Eric, what did you think of what we saw at Blinsky's yesterday?
I was expecting a little more like nice things.
That makes sense. Did you think the toys?
Tiger.
The tiger was nice. Did you think any of the other toys were nice? Or you not really like them?
Parts, but there would be like a cool guy who was like a warrior, but then he would be like hung by a noose or something. And I don't know I don't know what to do with that.
That makes sense. It is a little, it's a bit macabre even for a child grave robber.
Figured it was for grown-ups.
It is strange how they would expect you to play with it.
Yeah, I thought I would
Bounce him up and down.
Maybe I think that string was slightly elastic, so you could sort of slingshot.
Yeah, maybe if I guess it could be fun to pull it once and then have him fall, but then what do you do after that?
Yeah, like a wee play gallows.
If you can't, I bet you if you search the body, you won't even find any cool stuff. So what's the point?
That's fair.
You want to come in?
Oh my god, letting in the dog.
He was really looking sad.
He's not sad. He doesn't have human emotions.
Come here.
I mean, he has human emotions, but his emotions work differently.
He
from
does?
humans.
Yeah, that was. It's a pretty big.
Garfield, I'm in love with you. Deal with it. I'm serious. Ooh, he wanted that water.
Yeah.
Does he have water out there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course he's got
I'm
water.
sorry I asked.
I moved.
Okay.
Sorry.
I can multitask.
Chat, I promise there's a cute dog down there. It's not.
I'm scratching it too. There's 2 dogs.
It's like Spectre that goes around the table and takes us all one by one.
Guys, don't worry about what you see me doing. This dog is being really naughty under the table.
That's how, what's it called? What's the dancing one called?
Dance Dance Revolution?
Dancing
There's
dog?
no, dancing spell. A spell that makes you dance.
Otter's irresistible dance.
Yeah, there should be irresistible.
You see a dog?
Irresistible dog scratching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phantom dog.
Alright, irresistible.
When you said that, he bumped
fluffy
into me, and I was
belly.
like,
I mean, if you don't have particular priorities in town, we could just press Y to skip time.
Well, there is also the only other thing. Did we want to explore Rictavio's Carnival of Wonders at all? Like, are we curious about?
Oh,
Caravan of Wonders? You mean?
Yeah.
is he open?
You'd have to go to the stockyards, but he did mention that he's going to take a few days to set up. So
Okay.
probably going to do it in time for the festival.
let's go watch him set up.
Just standing, smoking cigarettes, staring at him.
I just don't.
You could look for Rictavio.
Yeah, but we don't like Rictavio.
Yeah, I don't want to find
Yeah, I think.
I mean, he's up to something.
Unless you
Sure.
have a specific reason to find. Oh. Cruelly. To find him.
No, that's just water. He's slower.
I think while everyone else is kind of figuring out what they want to do, Rowan is just gonna like peel off for a minute and go to Blinsky's and like try to find a less traumatizing toy. Kind of ask him, do you have anything else around here, kind of like the tiger, or just like a soldier man?
He is very pleased to see you again. The monkey Piccolo claps his cymbals. They're
hello,
cymbals.
Piccolo.
And curtsies in its tutu.
Hell yeah.
And Blinsky says, "Oh, will you be like something boring, baby?"
Oh yeah, Blinsky.
What kind of something? Yeah, something a bit boring.
Jiminy
suppose-
Blinsky.
I suppose we have something like this. And he holds out a wooden hollow boat that's meant to sort of float on water. We don't get much more than puddles around here, but maybe it could work in Lake Sarovich, for example.
I mean, we are, going to be traveling a bit, so I imagine we'll, cross paths with water here and there. Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay, well, that will be another 9 copper pieces.
All right, absolutely, and I'll give him 10 copper.
Whoa.
1 silver, I guess that is.
So now you have surrendered 2. And in this case, if I ever sell you $8, then you can have 1 for free.
Sounds terrific.
Oh,
Thank
now
you.
they got ya.
That's a very kind deal.
Why don't you here? Let me hand this, and he writes out a little card.
Like a stamp card.
Well, it's just it's a frequent shopper card.
Well, you're my first
Here.
repeat customer.
Oh, really?
Hey, we can totally forge stamps on that. Magic.
Oh, yeah.
If I had
No, I've
magic.
absolutely been here 6 times. You just don't remember. Yeah, for sure. I'll take that gold off of my,
What is he chewing on?
I don't know.
Why did you let him in?
It sounds substantial.
So,
Because he's so sweet.
The cable?
Inspiration.
why did you let him in, Lisha?
He's great.
Because he looked so sad and he was
No, he
whining.
did. He wasn't sad. His face looks sad.
He was
He has
whining.
these eyes that
He
go
was
like
whining.
this.
So you agree that he looks sad?
Yes.
Well, why don't you have him come over to you, and then just
I don't want him to. I'm busy over here.
All right, fine. I'll let him out.
It's all good if we don't talk about him.
Yeah. If we just ignore him, he'll just be chill.
Yeah, we just ignore him.
Well, you didn't want him to be eating that thing.
Well, yeah, because then he might
Garfield?
die.
We don't even know you're here.
Please
Don't
take this
even
card.
try. Ooh!
Chopper card. He has Piccolo draw.
Wait,
a little-
what? You haven't fucking...
I made it. He had Piccolo draw a little X.
Yeah, but did you know they were gonna go
Garfield?
back to Blitzky's?
No, I just made it right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Garfield? Yeah.
Okay. So it's taken you until about 10 a.m. What would you like to do?
Suppose it would be might be an appropriate time to go to the Burgomaster's. It's between meals.
Do we need to? The only other thing is, did we use all of our healing potions?
Oh, a healing potion? I had a healing potion I hadn't used.
I do not have any.
I got one when in that like zombie battle back
Yeah.
in the day. I never used.
I don't think I have any.
I guess
Yeah.
we don't have one. Do we want to go to the stockyards and get some supplies?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So you head first over to Arisek Stockyards, passing through the wooden gate with the arched sign above it. It looks a little cold and particularly desolate on this morning. It seems like while there are some people around town making preparations for the festival, the stockyard is not occupied by too many people. Rictavio's wagon still sits there, still locked. Rictavio nowhere to be seen.
Is there like
Where are
a
you headed?
Isn't there like a place to buy?
Yeah, so there is a shop within the main barn where the Arisek couple.
Can I investigate Rictavia's wagon at all? Is there anything?
Yeah, there are. What you notice immediately is that some of the paint looks older and some of it looks quite fresh. Specifically, the sign advertising Rictavio's Carnival of Wonders looks pretty new. Other than that, it seems like there's a sturdy padlock on it.
All right.
You hadn't gotten too close before.
Shall we to the shop?
Let's to the shop.
So, arriving at the shop, you see a middle-aged to elderly couple of Barovians. The woman she has a faraway look in her eyes, looking almost past you as you walk in. The man, meanwhile, is...
We got raided.
Oh, welcome
Hell
everyone.
yeah.
Thank you for coming and watching our stream.
Everyone play it cool.
Yeah, act like you've been here before. So, the man is nudging his wife in the with his elbow in her ribs, saying, "Drusilla, it's such a pleasure to see customers, right? This is what a great day." And she says, "Yes, it is quite a pleasure to see customers." He says, "Come, let's greet them with our typical warmth." And
I love her.
she says, welcome. Is there anything with which I can help you?
Well, we were hoping to get some supplies. We've come upon this place, and as I'm sure you realize all too well, folk who come here aren't often planning on visiting this place, and once we get here, it can be quite difficult to leave. So we find ourselves without supplies and looking to pick up a few things. I know for me, I would need some potions if you have any health potions or poultices.
Drusilla just continues to stare, and the man at her side says, "Drusilla, offer them what we have." She says, "I can offer you what we have. Herbs and supplies."
Sounds excellent.
Does she
Yes.
appear to be one of the people we learned about in Barovia who seems to have been born without a soul or whatever
Personality,
that was?
yeah.
Personality.
I think she's just cool.
She
That
does
doesn't-
seem to
Doesn't
be.
discount his question.
She
wanna
does
be
seem to
out
be
there.
acting similarly to the bartender at the Blood on the Vine Tavern, which is, and that's how he was described.
Well, do you have anything special in stock right now?
Oh, absolutely. We can. What about this? And he pulls out a rope. This special rope.
Oh!
What about the rope is special?
Have you tried even pulling it? Here, and he sort of ties one end around Drusilla's arm. She keeps dropping her arm, he keeps lifting it up, and hands the other end to you. Don't worry about her, she won't move. Give it a tug.
Right. I think we're good on rope.
I'm gonna tug it. Eric tugs it.
It's true that Drusilla does not move almost at all, and sort of thrusts her arm back, and you are pulled hard toward the counter. Are you in your glamour at the moment?
Yeah, I'm periwinkle.
Yeah. So, as
Smaller periwinkleito.
in your periwinkle like size, she seems nonplussed, but the shopkeeper is surprised that, well, the man is surprised that you've been pulled so easily.
Sure. Wow. Amazing.
I guess
Is it quite slight frame for a boy that appears this stature?
I'm ill.
I'm sorry to hear that.
You
Perhaps
say from a very stout-looking, healthy
Smile, big smile.
Drusilla says, perhaps you would like one of our teas.
Oh no, I've got it under control.
Lady Lan is like, show me the herbs that you have.
Yeah, show her the herbs.
Oh, okay.
I'm good on herbs.
And he prompts again his wife to
disgusting. Ew.
get the herbs out from the drawer. She doesn't really, but he sort of helps, and at every step is urging her to do it. And then finally, he just sort of puts this open-topped, compartmentalized box into her hands, and they lift it up onto the counter together. It looks like there are a few unusual herbs that you haven't seen yet in Barovia. but they look quite dried out at this point. It doesn't seem like they get fresh stock. There are also some herbs that you've never seen before at all. But it's your classic
Yeah.
18th or 17th century herbs, you know.
Of course.
Marjoram, marshmallow weed.
You don't need to tell us. We know.
We all know.
17th century herbs.
Classic.
Yeah. Rose hip.
Well, I sort of look for anything that would help with the healing of my wound, even though I know I can't heal it. Anything stronger, because I've been using, presumably, my herbalism kit, my mushrooms, my things to kind of to help me. So I look for anything that will kind of, I guess, buy me some time in a way.
You could probably roll herbalism. Roll medicine, but using your herbalism kit, I assume. So
Yeah.
Which gives it proficiency.
with proficiency bonus.
Oh, I don't have proficiency in medicine.
You don't?
I thought I had like a herbalism proficiency, but I don't.
You have an herbalism kit
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
proficiency
Yeah.
with that. So I think
you get a bonus.
you get a
Yeah.
plus
Plus two.
2
For sure.
And
Plus your wisdom.
yeah, plus
Well-
your wisdom.
Her wisdom's no
It's
good.
2, so it's not gonna. Nothing is gonna. Doesn't matter what I add to that. It's not going
Wisdom is no
That says
good.
a lot about nobility, about feeling like you're wise.
Wait, so what was the total?
Not even worth mentioning. 4.
It's not even worth mentioning?
4.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Well, I mean, as a number,
Might,
sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate 4.
Lady Lund, do you mind if I?
I don't like to say it.
Do you mind if I
Chinese style.
take a look at that?
Oh.
They don't
By
say
all
4.
means.
I mean, they say 4, but they don't like 4.
Can
Am
I?
I supposed to know about this?
Yeah. You know, if you're like 4 is
Is
an
it like
unlucky
bad
number.
luck?
Yes.
Yeah. Because
4, 14.
It's the anti-7?
There's
it's
no
the-
4th floor in a lot of places.
Really?
In Asia, yeah.
Yeah, but you know what the 7 is in Chinese? 8. That's lucky.
What if I was born on the 14th?
That wouldn't be great. At most weddings, there's
We're
no
in the same
14
boat.
table or 4th
We're in
table.
the same boat.
Well, can I use... Is it a different calendar? Maybe I'm not born on the 14th.
That's a good point. You're probably born on the friggin' dragon.
Yeah, I'm born on the dragon. That's what it feels like.
I think we talked last week, I mentioned about the days of celebration in the French Revolutionary calendar,
Of course we did.
right?
No.
No, we did
idea.
not.
About how this
I
guy,
don't think that was us.
this guy Deglantina, he made up the French Revolutionary calendar. They had all, like, it's almost like fantasy.
Baseball.
Campaign setting, where he made like up a whole new calendar. All the months were named after, like, it was like, you know, it's like Thermidor, Fructidor, like,
Cool.
like, it's like, this is fruit month, this is hot month, this is plant month, this is harvest month, and then every day was
Is that
assigned.
where lobster thermidor comes from?
Maybe.
Yeah, they had it every Thermidor.
Thermidor, I believe, was like analogous to August, but they didn't even have the same number of days every year. Like, it was crazy. And every day was assigned for contemplation of a particular thing that was related to that month.
Wow.
Nobody had to work?
Actually, speaking of that, it was 10-day weeks with 2 weekends, so people had to work more. But while you work, you contemplate these various things. And he, of course, like many of the revolutionaries, was executed eventually. And he was executed on the day that he assigned for contemplation of lettuce. Which I think is funny.
Wait a minute. A contemplation.
It's the day he lost his head. So
Oh,
Yeah.
gotta be thinking
Yeah.
about lettuce.
So that can be our little code. If I think I'm gonna die, I'll be like,
It's lettuce day.
I think I'm contemplating lettuce.
And I'm so sorry for taking any more time away from the game, but
I don't even know what the fuck we were talking about anymore.
Herbs.
Right. Thank you.
I did want to ask, were the other days of contemplation that he had assigned, were there the objects of those days, that which you contemplated, similar to lettuce?
Were they other
Or was
lobster
one
dishes?
for candle and
Yes.
like
But there was also
Plow.
there was truth, filial piety, lettuce.
Those are all equal.
Yeah.
Of equal importance.
That was
I like this guy.
That was actually almost
I like this guy.
the French slogan. They landed on
Liberté,
Liberté, Égalité,
Fraternité.
Fraternité.
Yeah.
But it was gonna be.
What do you guys think? Should we go with
Frise?
fealty or lettuce?
Yeah, no, they were all kind of equal. But I think they started with the important stuff and kind of just ran out.
I do love that. I do really love that, post-revolutionary spirit of, guys, we can do whatever the fuck we want now.
Yeah.
Guys, life isn't necessarily about work and torture.
Let's have a day where
Today's about lettuce.
And little did he know. He died on Lettuce Day.
Damn.
Okay, so your 4 is bad. You didn't. You really don't find any herbs that you feel could give you a better handle on your injury.
With a 4, you find a piece of lettuce that you're obsessed with.
In that case, I just kind of
Stop contemplating.
buy a few herbs that will sort of replenish my healer's kit and my herbalism kit, but not just the standard stuff that
Okay.
that's what I do.
All right. So that will cost you 1 gold.
So this is just like a sundries shop.
Yes, but there are specialist shops in town too.
Okay.
This is just the one that you knew. Plus Haben Dash, the leather workers shop.
Shall I? Are there any nicer stores?
That's my mom.
Eric is
my mom
just
asked
cringes so.
My mom walked into a restaurant with me and asked that at the restaurant. If there are any nicer restaurants.
That reminds me of the time that we were making the Dude Bro movie. And we had. Sorry to interrupt this. I just have to share this. We had hired a Ronald Reagan impersonator to play Ronald Reagan in the movie.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, it was weird because he was, he was like a 70-year-old dude, and he brought to set with him this goth twink in his 20s who would do stuff for him.
Huh.
Imagine Ronald Reagan dressed like Ronald Reagan, and then Chris Angel.
Yeah.
Running around doing stuff for him. But the thing that...
Or Keith from Righteous Gemstones.
Yes, exactly. 100%.
Yeah.
But the thing that I will always remember is that we had fucking 3 directors on the movie.
Of course.
And one of them said to the Ronald Reagan impersonator, "Okay, can you do it again, but this time do it more like Ronald Reagan?" Anyway.
The reason why you're here.
Yeah. Reagan it up a little bit.
That's
Ronald
really just
Reagan
a
impersonator.
could you do better?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh,
Better.
by the way, be talented? Okay, let's go.
Let's try acting.
Let's try good.
Alright, sorry.
What are we buying?
If I was looking for anything like a healing potion or, common, maybe surprising and helpful magic items, this is probably not the place.
I think magic items are going to be hard to come by in Barovia in general.
Sure.
A healing potion you might be able to find, but probably actually back at the Vistani camp.
Oh.
Okay.
Now you tell us.
Now you ask.
Fair. Very fair. I was to think kind of discreetly off to the side, Rowan would just be like, "I'm not really sure. I mean, those look like some lovely herbs, but I'm not quite sure that they have too much of what we need in these shops. I'm not adverse to taking a look around the town, but
Or maybe we just go
only
to
if
the
others
Barrens.
would like to."
I keep saying Baron, but he's really a Burgomaster.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is that where you're headed?
I mean, if we don't really have a
thing that we're looking to...
It's late enough in the
Yeah,
morning
it's
at
late,
this point
yeah.
with your,
Yeah.
failed herb expedition.
Well, it wasn't entirely
That's
fair.
what you call it.
That's true. There's some judgment on that.
I learned a lot.
I think
Would this be a... No, they probably wouldn't have enough for... I was thinking about selling the silver bracelet
whoa.
for the gold, but I suppose I don't have to. It doesn't seem like they would probably have cash on hand sufficient to cover...
I'm not
We're
gonna
also
sell
not
any
like
of
low
my
on
fancy
cash
stuff.
right now.
Yeah.
Bankrupt to these
I'm not
shopkeepers.
selling it.
I'll buy this whole building for this bracelet.
Yeah, get out.
There's a demand for silver here. of
Honestly,
course.
it would be so fucking
Oh,
cool if we just
right.
twisted this where we just made a nice home in Barovia
I mean, you might
and
as
lived
well
the rest of
set
our
up
lives
shop. You don't
Just
have a
made
good
it
way to
work.
get out.
Yeah.
with what they got going.
It had a rival carnival where we made everybody
Yeah, we
attend.
make our own carnivals.
A common ending of this campaign is being unable to leave Barovia, so you might as well make the most of it.
I'm already starting
shit.
my plans.
It's good to have a
I
contingency.
picked out a house.
Yeah.
Why don't we head to the Burgomaster's? It sort of seems like we're flailing.
Well, the Burgomaster's manor is close to the center of town, as you might imagine. The walls are this plastered stone material, so it looks like it's a little more even and not as rough as it actually is. The building looks almost scarred because in a lot of places the plaster has sort of fallen away from the underlying stone because of neglect and age in general. On your way there, you contemplate the different guard patrols that you saw walking through the town, seemingly keeping the peace, but more like enforcing happiness, as you've learned is the Burgomaster's want. Arriving there, you see that
Part of Eric's disguise as Periwinkle is a big ol' smile on his face.
oh sure, yeah, just smiling at everyone.
Consistently.
Are your eyes
Yeah.
smiling too, or
No,
are
no,
they not
I'm
in
dead.
it at all?
Yeah, of course. So it seems that drapes are covering most of the windows. There's a big arched opening above some double doors, and that's the Burgomaster's manor. How do you approach?
Before we go anywhere near, assuming that you'll be handling sort of the entreaties, I thought
What are
maybe
entreaties? Sorry,
the talkings.
I don't want to slow it down.
The asks. No, don't. I mean, if there's anything ever that you don't know,
Well,
I mean, feel free to.
Now you're slowing it down.
I just. Point well taken. I just wanted to tell you that you were welcome to ask questions.
Thank
I
you.
don't want to.
Thank you.
It's like hard to look at the like constantly. Does your mouth move when you're talking?
I think so, but it's
But
always
it's
smiling.
always smiling. Yeah, it's like unpleasant. I think.
God.
Maybe I'll learn it eventually, but not
perfect.
yet. Maybe Eric will figure it out.
Yeah.
No one has the heart to tell
And
him.
he's moving like
Very. Yeah.
You're doing great.
I maybe take some extra assistance, Lady Lawn, and I touch you and cast Enhance Ability with Charisma as the ability. So as long as I'm concentrating for an hour, you have advantage on ability checks using the chosen ability. So,
Okay.
Okay, well, so don't get distracted. You gotta keep that concentration
Yeah.
going.
Eagle Splendor. Nice.
well, they don't actually have names for it anymore in the
That's lame.
I only know it from
The door
Eagles
to the
Splendor
manor
forever.
creaks open,
Baldur's Gate.
and
Yeah.
a head peeks out. A young woman with very pale skin and a short bob haircut, dark. Is it still a bob if it's like curly-ish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of a spaniel look, and
I was picturing Liza Minnelli in Cabaret.
curly.
Not
Uh,
like curly.
And a I don't know how to call this more elegantly. A maid's thingy,
Oh, I've always wondered what those were called.
right? Are they for maids only?
You're not talking about a wimple, are
I-
you?
Well,
Well,
I mean,
doesn't a
it
wimple
sounds
go
like
under a
it sounds
habit?
like you're the only one who knows.
I thought isn't a wimple on your head?
Yeah, the wimple is
But
the
doesn't it
head
go under a
covering.
habit like a nun has it?
No, isn't
Yeah.
it? Isn't it? I thought the wait.
Well, wimple is part of a habit. Wimples can have like various different shapes.
I don't think it's necessarily
Well, is the thing that I'm
religious.
talking about a wimple?
I don't think so.
I thought a wimple was the pointy hat.
Mobcats or bonnets.
It's a bonnet.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
a bonnet.
And she says, also wearing an apron, and the apron is somewhat
mob
dirtied,
cap.
but pretty.
Bonnets are
Pretty
for
clean.
outside.
Okay, mob cap, and a velvety red housecoat underneath. Says, "May I help you?
Inform your master that he has visitors.
Love it.
Whom shall I tell him is here,
Lady Lon.
Lady Lon what?"
That is all that you need to know. Go.
Okay. Roll a persuasion check with advantage because you are using your noble background.
Ooh, natural 20.
Okay.
Nice.
She disappears for a few moments and comes back, this time opening the door wide. And you can already see, looking inside the hall, that there is a darkened parlor. Yeah, he's a loud drinker. There's a darkened parlor
Like churning butter over there.
with framed portraits.
Gotta have
And she
a powerful
says,
tongue. Sorry.
"Allow me to escort you to the Burgomaster's office, where he will meet you shortly. Lady Lan and her companions." And she brings you through. The house is very well appointed and nicely decorated, unlike much more than the Burgomaster's manor in the village of Barovia. This one seems to actually be kept up pretty well, outside notwithstanding. There's a sculpted railing going up a wide staircase to the second floor in this sort of grand vestibule. And she walks you through a hall. You can see there are several doors leading away from it. Heaped up against the walls are bundles of twigs that seem like they're not normally there. And you sort of walk past this sitting room, and as you walk past, 4 very nicely dressed women all turn silently to look toward you through the doorway. It's a little unsettling because they were mid-conversation and sort of stare as you pass with their backs very straight and tea with their pinkies out.
Lady Lon sort of gives them a nod.
They continue to stare. And Claudia brings you to a den with some padded chairs and couches. It's a cozy, carpeted room. It reeks of pipe smoke, and mounted on the eastern wall is the head of a very angry-looking bear. And Claudia says, exiting the room, "Please hold for just a moment, and the Burgomaster will..." And before she can finish, a man who you recognize as the Burgomaster from the previous day walks into the room. His hair is a little messier than it was yesterday. It's that sort of high coiffed blonde number, a little thinning down to his shoulders. I'm picturing sort of Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. Maybe a little more hair than that, but
So tucked.
his hair is, yes,
Okay.
behind his ears.
Yeah.
And he's wearing a similar house coat to the one that Claudia is wearing, but with inlaid gold patterns, a tufted collar, and some very fluffy, luxurious socks/slippers on his feet.
Jealous.
He's
Jealous of
carrying a
that.
pipe, and he says, "I can introduce myself, Claudia." You notice he has a different accent than most Barovians. He speaks in a way this is so awkward to talk about because we've decided that we're not going to really fuck with languages in this game. So he speaks in a way that would be more familiar to Rowan. You could think of it as an English tinged Barovian accent. I believe you are Lady Lan.
Lady Lan sort of holds out her hand.
What a pleasure. He grabs the hand and gives it a lingering kiss.
You have
Then he
a-
holds out his hand for you.
I take it and sit. One of the chairs.
Charmed. What brings you to my settlement, and more importantly, to my den?
Well, first, I must say, it is quite a relief to finally find myself in the home of someone so, how shall I say, civilized. I have traveled
Well, that's certainly a great way to say it.
I have traveled far, and this is by far the most beautiful home that I've seen in Barovia.
Well, I must appreciate that compliment. We don't take that lightly around here, and we work quite hard, in fact, to make it so.
I do not give compliments lightly. My companions will attest to
No,
that.
it doesn't seem
It's
that
true.
you do.
I've heard maybe
I don't
one or
think
two.
I've heard one.
Well, she doesn't have much to work with.
Not to
No
not
offense.
to say that she's not generous. Very generous.
To be honest, we had heard great things about your library, and I kind of snap my fingers, and I had given Eric like the map, one of
Ready
the
to
maps, and I say,
present.
please. And as you can see, I'm a collector of history and knowledge, and this is a map from one of my travels. A gift for your
Wow.
collection, and we were hoping to see your library, which we've heard praised.
Absolutely. You have me pegged, I must say. I love knowledge, and especially history. I have many, many fine books in my library. It's not surprising to me that you will have heard about them and traveled all this way.
And a stage whisper to. He seems really smart.
And I should say, while I have this many books, I've read all of them and continue to read more.
Oh my god.
And I especially love contemplating maps and looking at all the different places on them.
Well, I hope you will find the map. It shows some parts of the Silk Road. Interesting.
I love silk. This, in fact, is made of silk.
A rare sight.
Eric is just holding it up.
The map is nearly the size of this generously proportioned companion of yours.
Oh, no need to discuss my size. It's normal here.
Would it be an imposition if we could see your library?
Well, it would. Tell me more about why you'd like to see it. maybe it would be a good way to celebrate the festival. Look at it after. Are you excited for the festival?
I've heard wonderful things about the festival.
From whom?
All of the village people. All the people in the inn in which we are staying.
Yes, well,
Blue Water Inn is very excited.
that's good to hear. Indeed, the whole town is abuzz. This should be one of the biggest festivals of the year.
Well then, our timing could not be better.
I talked to someone yesterday who said that they weren't excited for the festival. I punched him in the face.
Good man. It must have hurt coming from you,
Thanks.
given that you are enormous.
Oh, thanks.
Yes, I'm excited for all of the festivities taking place. It's going to be quite a spectacle.
Well, we would love to. We definitely will be attending the festival. Do not fear. But
The
we
heavens will see our joy and wealth and look favorably upon us.
It is very generous of you to put on these festivals for the townspeople. I hope they appreciate your generosity.
Well, of course, through our good spirits, we shall move ever closer to oneness with Christ and deliverance from this fell darkness.
I'm so pleased to hear you mention our Lord.
My lord, anyway. Are you a believer?
I look down at my Catholic robes. Yes. My name is Father Esquivel.
Oh, a pleasure to meet you. Have you met with Father Lucian yet? Father Petrovich, my dear wife's brother, in fact.
How wonderful. And what, if you don't mind me asking, and they aren't a surprise of some kind, how will we be celebrating this festival? What sort of religious observances are prepared?
Well, for this one, we of course have the pièce de résistance, which is the wicker effigy in which we will cast our riches, food, representations, and genuine articles of the finest pleasures that we have to offer here and set them ablaze. And of course, allow God to also witness the burning of our most heinous sinners.
Wow, that sounds like a great time.
It is a joyous occasion.
This burning of a wicker effigy, you say?
That's right.
This is a tradition that's not unknown to my people. I wasn't aware that it was something that you could see in these lands as well.
Well, as I said, I have a lot of knowledge and many books in my vast trove.
That's true, you did
So
say
the-
that.
So this is a tradition of the West that you brought here with you, then?
This is the West. Oh, I thought you meant the west of the Carpathian Mountains. I suppose, though my family has been doing it for generations. These festivals are very important to the city, ever more so with the recent unpleasantness by this devil, Strahd.
What kind of sinners are you burning?
The very worst. Ones who seek to cast down our happiness.
Like
The followers of Strahd?
Apparently,
people who do terrible things,
people who do some of the most awful things.
like steal from. Never mind.
or question the integrity of our most sacred celebrations.
Yes,
imagine.
this plague of a man, this Strahd, does seem to be quite unfortunate. What success have you had in fighting back?
Well, as you can see, we have been kept safe here in my home.
It looks great.
Indeed. And by my home, I don't of course only mean this house in which you stand. I mean the whole town of Vallaki. We have repelled Strahd for generations and will continue to do so and maybe even advance farther, should we show sufficiently to God our devotion to him and our joy in the face of fear.
So this guy is not exactly what Esquivel was expecting to find. You know, from the reputation we had gathered, he seemed to be, you know, maybe a madman or a zealot or of some kind. But this guy seems sort of even-keeled and a little.
He's not the Bioshock guy.
Yeah, he's not. He doesn't seem like, you know, a cackling madman.
He's not cackling, but he is talking
Yeah, so let's
about...
work for him.
He does have weekly festivals where he
kills
apparently kills some people.
Yeah. Imagine if you met a guy who had a party every week and, like, the centerpiece of the party was murdering everyone who said the party sucks.
Yeah, no,
Sounds like Max Landis.
I get that, but can I tell whether
That's
this
basically
is
Mar-a-Lago
like
right now.
is this like a put on of some kind? Does he have like is he?
I love hamburgers.
Are you doing an inside check?
I love wonderful hamburgers.
Yeah, I guess I was
It's
just.
gonna be the best festival of the burning sun. Everyone loves the burning sun. It's burning hotter than ever before.
A lot of people are saying it's the best festival they've ever seen since last week. The other best festival.
Yeah.
So he is like that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, there's a little bit of that.
Yeah.
No further questions?
Well, how about this? If we could maybe impose on your generosity here. By the way, who are the lovely ladies that we passed in the hall?
Oh, that must be my wife having tea with some of her friends about town. There's not many people here who can appreciate the type of conversation and intellectual stimulation that we offer, but certainly some can, and they find their way here, apparently.
Well, they seem to be having quite a lovely time.
Oh, indeed.
So, yes, I do think I would love to hear more about this festival, but I did promise my companions a sight of your library. So perhaps we
get
could
to see the library?
perhaps, if you don't mind, we could see the library for maybe an hour, and then perhaps we could have some of that tea. And I would love to hear more about the festival. In fact, perhaps we can discuss some ways to increase the power of your festivals.
I do appreciate forthrightness. So, at least admit to me that you will be looking for something in the library.
Yes.
You're learned people. I'm willing, if you can agree to help resolve a problem that I'm facing. Doesn't have to be today, but it will be soon enough. It's difficult to abscond on a promise made to me in this city. Indeed, in this whole barony. For the past 2 months, this may sound silly. For the past 2 months, a spirit has haunted this house. servants, not me personally, but servants have seen reflections in mirrors or in darkened windows. They've heard sounds, strange emanations. They've felt cold drafts. They've even seen objects move of their own volition, sometimes hurled at the walls. The butler and my wife's lady-in-waiting have already left our employ because they're terrified of this spirit.
Good staff is so hard to find.
I know. It's very difficult to replace. Lydia Petrovna, my wife, she hosts these lunches, as I mentioned, and they're useful to prepare costumes and decorations for the festivals, and I can't have them interrupted or finding out about the spirit's existence. So, first of all, you may not mention this to anyone outside of this house, and to most people within it. But I would like for you to investigate this for me, and in exchange you may use the library immediately.
This, I look, and I assume we're like, yes, we'd be happy to look into this out. In fact, I'm curious, did something happen 2 months ago that would have a death in the house, perhaps?
Not to my knowledge. I would urge you, in fact, here's what we'll do. Go to the kitchen, through the hall here, to the back. Speak with my cook, Tereska. She very nearly left my employ out of fear, but I convinced her to stay with a bit of the Velakovich charm. She will then take you up to the library once you've learned what you need to from her.
Very well.
Okay?
And I hold my hand out again, and I
And gives you another kiss. He holds his hand out.
take it to stand up.
And he says, I'll continue pondering this. He points to an object, orb, sitting on his desk. I'll ponder this orb.
I figure that's what all leaders do.
Right.
Is there something special about the orb that we can?
It's got a lot of, well, it's got no facets, but it has a lot of...
It's fascinating.
In it is like, it's like a marble, so there's different shapes. Please, see yourselves down the hall and speak with Tereska. And he shuts the door with a smile. The kitchen is straight ahead.
Before that,
Yeah.
did I get the sense in that interaction? I mean, obviously, I'm kind of like as soon as the door shuts, I'm like, but did I get the sense that having sort of had conversations with sort of this class of people and sort of knowing there's like what you talk about and then there's like what people actually mean, that he actually enjoyed that conversation, or was actually like, or was he being kind of like, was he being disingenuous, or like, did I sort of pick up on any subtext, I guess is my question.
Roll an insight check.
12.
You get the sense that he was pretty captivated and happy to meet someone who he believes is near but not quite at his level of sophistication and refinement.
Okay.
So, walking through just a few steps, you see this kitchen and pantry that are
This is why he doesn't sleep in that room.
pretty well stocked. 2 barrels of wine stacked on top of each other. And in the middle of it all, standing with her hands on her hips, is this broad-shouldered, sort of rough-hewn woman. She turns around and says, What are you doing here?
We were sent here by the master of this house to speak with you about spirits that you've seen.
Vargi sent you, did he? Okay, well, yes, I saw the spirit. Should have left as soon as I did, but he convinced me to stay, and I... Just one look at that diamond smile and I can't leave.
Did he give you a raise by any chance?
Raise? Oh, my pay? Wages? Well, I get to live here for free. And eat.
That's pretty good.
Eating is good.
What am I gonna spend money on? Potatoes? I got all the potatoes I need.
Well, I'd hope if you had money, you wouldn't make him buy his potatoes. That'd be rough. What can you tell us about?
We have another point of inspiration from chat, by the way.
Yay! What can you tell us about what you saw?
Yeah, one second. This is a sort of a bit of a...
Is he using her point of inspiration?
She,
I'm so sorry.
This is a bit of a dun-dun. She sort of turns around and tends to a soup. Puts a little more dried oregano in it.
Make me hungry.
Mostly sticks to the second floor, and then sort of elbows past you to the pantry to grab a... Well, they wouldn't have had cans, we know, from playing the game Timeline. A clay jar. Yep, a clay jar. With a little top of garlic and starts to chop. One night, I was getting an old pot from in there up on the shelf upstairs in the hallway closet, and I noticed this eerie presence and the sound of breathing, like right on my neck. I very nearly quit right there. Almost enough to send me away.
What? So you say you saw the presence?
No, I saw like a flash of light, and I felt the presence. I felt it, and I heard the breathing, and I felt a rush of cold, and
I believe you.
And I'd already heard from Valentina from the lady in waiting for Lydia that she had seen it in the mirror several times, and she said it's this young woman, but not quite the same as we look. Maybe like if you go to the carnival and they have the mirrors that are bent, but these mirrors are straight in this house.
I don't know what you mean about a carnival. What's a carnival?
And
Place of amusements.
yes, the place of amusements. And every time this happens, everyone says you just feel so sad. She grabs she opens the door to this cast iron potbelly stove and pulls out with bare hands a tray on which some meat had been cooking over an open flame, and starts to cut the meat.
Did this, you heard it, did it do anything besides breathe behind you?
It made me almost do something in my pants. But other than that, no. But that's enough, no?
Do you know of anyone who has been harmed, or does it seem particularly to haunt someone in particular?
just this house.
In any room or specific
So
rooms?
you said it was the hallway closet on the second floor that you were in
That's there, but I think
when this happened.
more upstairs. That nobody here will go into the attic anymore. Although Victor, the son, he comes up. He goes upstairs.
Why does no one go in the attic?
Well, it's just too frightening.
Because of this particular
It's
spirit?
spooky.
Is there a window around?
Not in the kitchen, actually.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's just like Esquivel's thought is like everywhere is fucking spooky.
But we get used to living here. I know wherever you come from, maybe you still have sun. But here, it says a lot if people get spooked.
I suppose it does.
Only Victor can stay up there, and I just leave his meals at the attic trapdoor ladder, and he comes down to get them. Spends hours up there.
Sounds like a great arrangement.
Do you know if it has appeared in any particular time of day or night?
Mostly night. Mostly night. I'm not even sure if you'd fit in the attic. It's a small hole. Victor, he's really small, very... He doesn't eat enough, but...
I can squeeze.
I suppose we should speak to Victor then. He's seen this ghost. Yes?
I don't know. But I heard the Baron say, or the Burgomaster just said, to take you to the library, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm not sure he said anything about speaking with Victor.
Later, perhaps. He did ask us to look into this matter.
Maybe, yes.
We'll have to speak to everyone.
Come, I'll take you there. And you exit the kitchen, and she guides you up a back staircase, not the grand one that you went up, that you saw when you entered the house. She starts to say more. Yeah, I don't know about that boy. He's getting more and more by himself, you know. Barely eats, we barely see him. I'm afraid he's got whatever sickness that Wachter girl has. In fact, he started acting this way around the same time that she got it, that she stopped appearing. Anyway, she opens the door and shows you this, in fact, ornate library with floor-to-ceiling shelving, windowless also, and the number of books. Oh, sometimes he reacts to that. The number of books. You remember the Burgomaster has these two dogs. The books is the number of books is completely astounding.
Is Monto like?
Yeah, Monto. No, maybe a little scared. There's a large desk in the center of the room with a brass oil lamp on top of it, which is the only source of lighting in here, but it's enough to light the room. And there's a padded, very comfy-looking chair behind the desk, and there's, on its back cushion, is the symbol of a roaring bear that you've seen elsewhere in the house, too. And she says, "Okay, well, I'll be off in the kitchen, as usual. Where else would I be?"
Thank you.
And leaves you to your devices.
So we're looking for information about this ring, but the Vistani did think that somehow the Burgomaster might be involved, right?
No.
No? No, okay.
Just
Or, I
that,
mean, you didn't pick that up,
Okay.
as far as I know.
yeah. Just that, yeah. So are the books like organized according to subject matter or author, or
Seems
we
to
looking at some Dewey Decimal System here?
no Dewey Decimal System yet. It seems to be indeed according to subject, and within that, according to author.
We should look to see also if there's anything by that guy.
Van Richten?
Yeah,
We love him.
yeah. But anyway, is there a magic jewelry section?
No one's better at vampire than Van Richten.
And he knows werewolf too. And a lot of people don't know that. And some of the rumors about him, some of the guys were saying around the clubhouse, so no problems.
All right.
Uh,
Now. Enough of that.
You can spend some time searching. I'll say you could probably start with an hour to search.
By the way, I will be looking, in addition to looking for this, if there's stuff on werewolves, I will note it. Just FYI.
Okay. So it's 11 game time now.
Yeah.
This will probably be our final scene for the evening. You can take an hour to look, and unless you have some more direction, we'll take that long to get oriented and start thumbing through things.
Yeah, I was gonna look for anything about, the magical mysteries, and then try to narrow in on symbology, the ring in particular. But I also, if there is time, would like to look for, and I'm not necessarily sure this would be in the same section, but anything relating to beheadings, specifically those that are in the same sort of clinical.
God, this guy's always looking for books on beheadings everywhere we go. What a freak.
So you guys search. Eric, you get distracted a little bit. You try to be diligent, but you get a little bit distracted by books that are about fun stuff.
Not a big
Well,
reader.
you can't
And
read,
then
right?
you realize that you can't really read some pictures.
No.
But at first you try reading.
Knows some names.
Yeah.
You find an anatomy book and you're just.
Lady Lon, you find something interesting in the course of your searching.
Okay.
You identify a familiar name in a genealogical tome that you sort of were looking at in order to determine whether there was maybe some kind of noble family here that was connected to your own. You find this tome archiving the births and deaths of Valachian families, and you find one that seems to be sort of an incomplete tree. It identifies Irina Strahd, the younger sister of Isaac Strahd, and daughter of Grigory and Fatima Strahd. But according to these records, Irina died 18 years ago at the age of 4, and Grigory and Fatima died shortly thereafter. Their deaths are marked as suicide by hanging, and hers is marked as unknown, and it says P. devoured by wolves.
Oh.
Actually, you would have enough context from the book to know that P probably means presumed.
Okay.
The rest of you in that hour's time can confirm that there is no book that you suspect has any information about the ring. You don't look through all of them, but enough to where you're starting to feel a little bit hopeless. And at that moment, just as you sort of confer with one another in frustration, and Lady Lon shares that fact that she found about some familiar names. A young man walks into the room. He's very gaunt and sort of hunched over looking, with really dark eyes and like bags under his eyes, a pretty big nose, and he vaguely resembles Vargas Velakovic. His hair is sort of long, most of it in a ponytail, but some hanging down in front of his eyes.
Ooh, like a Final Fantasy character.
Yes. And there's like a grayed streak that is loosened from the ponytail.
Really like a
Final Fantasy. That's sort of hanging in the front. He is wearing this purple housecoat that he's wrapped around himself like a robe, and these leather boots that announce his arrival before his presence does. In fact, if not for the boots, he's got the type of presence that you wouldn't even know he had entered a room. And he says,
Take note of that for future
"Who are you?
disguises.
What are you doing here?"
We are guests of your father's. You must be
I
Victor.
don't give a shit. Yeah? So?
Alright, no one's asking you to give a shit.
Yeah, no one is asking you to care.
Okay, well, why are you looking through all my books?
These are not your books, it's your father's library, and he has given us permission.
Well, it's my library too. I live here also.
Well, good for you.
Okay, yeah, that is good for me, and it's bad for you because I'm telling you to get out of the library.
Lady Lon sort of like, just kind of like rises as tall as she can, looks down and says, we are guests of your father, and you will be a good son.
Okay, well, why don't you just shut up?
Absolutely devastating.
Lady Lon is just like, continues to look at him. And then she just sort of turns and picks up a book and just starts reading it and ignoring him.
Well, I'm looking for a book too.
By all means, please.
Well, what book are you looking for? Father Esquivel, you notice that he is carrying a large book of his own, and it has that symbol on it, same as the ring.
Here, let me,
You probably never even heard of the book that I'm looking for.
Well, what is the book that you're reading?
I don't, to be clear, it's not the one, you're not looking for the book that you're carrying. Because you are carrying, here, let me hold that for you
No.
while you look.
No. Back off, man.
Are you sure?
Yeah?
This
Did
looks.
I
I'm not really
Step in.
doing anything right now. I can help you.
What is the book that you are looking for?
It's called Ethereal Entities, Denizens of the Unseen Realm by John Dee. It's new, and it's very important, and I don't think you've heard of it. It's kind of for people who understand about these things.
Did we come across anything of that title or description or anything?
Roll a insight check.
18.
You did.
Oh. Yeah, I would go over to where that book was located, pull it off the shelf, and go, here, how about a trade?
That's my book. You can't trade. What do you want?
Doesn't knowledge belong to everyone?
What do you want with my book?
To read it.
Just to look at it.
Why?
It seems very interesting. I like that.
Yeah, it is. That's why I have it.
I like the cover.
And that's also why it's mine.
We met your father because we are very in admiration of your family's pursuit for knowledge, and we think as soon as we saw you, we thought this guy knows, and we want to share.
Yeah, not like my dad, actually.
And that's why we want to ask you, like, you must know what's actually good here, and we can trade knowledge with you.
Roll a persuasion check. With disadvantage.
This is the first charisma.
Guidance.
15 and 13. Okay, wait.
Oh.
12 plus guidance. D4?
Yeah.
3. 15.
Garfield, wanna go outside?
Okay. Fine. Give me that book. Let me look at it. And then I'll tell you about this book, but I won't tell you here. You have to come upstairs to my special room.
We get to see a special room.
Yeah, that sounds fascinating.
Educational.
By the way, look up John Dee. A very interesting figure.
Yeah,
Straight.
familiar.
Oh, because you were writing about similar stuff, right?
I did a long time ago,
Yeah.
but yeah.
When you say D, do you mean the letter?
Dee.
Okay.
Okay, so what he's looking at is this slim hardback book, leather cover. It's dyed a very deep midnight blue, and it indeed says ethereal entities, denizens of the unseen realm. I'll tell you some information from it. So the John Dee is embossed on the front in silver, and you're sort of looking over his shoulder as he's looking at it. There's small silver filigree that looks like ethereal wisps in the corners, and there are beautifully detailed illustrations in it. So it's sort of a treatise on the ethereal plane and the creatures that live there. Anything that you can find in the D&D books on the ethereal plane will be in there.
So this is like mind-blowing shit.
Yeah. It's
If it's real.
although at the time this was part of
Rumored.
active conversations that
Okay.
were happening among these
It's not proof,
kinds of
it's
guys.
just a...
Yes, yeah, exactly. It's not proof.
I imagine this would be a little bit adjacent to heretical from the perspective of the Catholic Church.
Yes. Chad says that Victor rules. He does rule. Yeah. So it talks about Etherborn, who are natives of the deep ethereal, and they have information about creatures that dwell solely in the deep ethereal. Things like, you don't need to write this down, but mist fiends, shimmerlings, that type of thing. There's a chapter on phantom
Your
folk.
Miss Fiends, your Shimmerlings.
Your ether shades. There's a chapter on phantom folk who are travelers from the border realm, and they sometimes can cross into the material plane.
What folk?
Phantom folk.
Okay.
So these are like ghosts.
Right.
It has a chapter about veil walkers, visitors to the ethereal, so kind of going in the other direction. Creatures that can visit the ethereal plane, specifically hags, nightmares, and phase spiders.
Oh, we know a hag.
You do. Do you? So there's also a small subsection in there about these phase spiders that catches your eye. It talks about the immunity that most incorporeal undead have to elemental, non-magical damage when on the material plane. And the natural means that phase spiders have developed to counteract those immunities through their fangs and venom, because they often have to do battle with those kinds of creatures. So incorporeal spirits can use a phase spider's fang as an additional combat material component in casting their spells. Or a martial combatant can use phase spider venom to coat their weapons or ammunition. Regarding night hags, it talks a little bit about a ritual that uses a night hag's heartstone and the energies of a ley line to replicate the effects of the etherealness spell on up to 10 individuals for 1 hour on the night of the full moon. And the etherealness spell, it doesn't say etherealness spell, it just tells you what it does, so I'm shorthanding it. It basically says that you can walk through the material realm as though it were the ethereal realm, meaning walk through walls. Fly around and shit. And he says, "Oh, okay. Yeah, I found out what I needed to know from this, so... Okay, you can come up to my room now. My special room. Not my actual real room, which sucks."
But did we see the book? We still haven't seen the book on the...
He's gonna tell us about
it upstairs. Okay.
Yeah, I said I don't want to talk about it where people can
Yes.
hear me.
Discretion.
Yes. Discretion.
Smart.
Discretion.
Discretion.
He walks you up the stairs to an attic that genuinely is a little extra spooky, although it really is just empty and drafty. And on one end of it is a closed door on which someone has carved a large skull, and there's a wooden sign hanging from the doorknob that says, "All is not well." And
I'm used to like live, laugh, love, or whatever.
yeah. And he turns and points to the skull, turns to you all who he's leading, and says, "Pretty cool, huh?"
Absolutely.
I like it.
I made it.
I genuinely
And
like
the
it.
sign I made also. Wow. Yeah.
You have an artist's gift.
Do we all
and I
have to
agree
roll
with
for
the
deception checks?
No, I genuinely mean it. I agree.
He opens the door, and you can see that someone, probably Victor, has taken old, mismatched furniture and created a study in this chamber that's lit by a couple lamps. So the tables are just completely strewn with pieces of parchment, and there's all these strange diagrams drawn all over them. And near the center of the room is a freestanding bookshelf with some books on it. There's a very dusty rug that's in the center of the room as well, and a pine box on top of which lounges a cat skeleton. And I say lounges because it sort of turns to look at you and then lays back down, and it's putting its head in its paws.
Does Victor have any... Does he have any, like, signs that he was wearing, that he's, like, recently lost a ring? Like a tan line?
What's his tan line like?
Roll a...
And there was no sun, but...
roll an investigation.
gotta offer
or no,
him a
roll a
hand.
perception check.
You gotta offer him the hand.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
He'll offer it back.
12.
And then you see.
Would you allow me to also attempt that?
Yes.
Or,
I think you would probably both be looking.
oh.
I just want to know if he's married.
Yeah,
No,
also
I'll never
11.
get married. It's stupid.
This
much?
thing comes off
11.
real easily.
So you don't notice any sign that he's lost a ring. So most unnerving in this room is the sight of 3 small children standing with their backs to you. No, they're wooden dolls, as it turns out, that are dressed in old clothing, which takes you a few seconds to kind of piece together.
I don't like it.
Against the wall also is a full-length mirror in a really pretty gilded frame. Father Esquivel, you think you see a brief flash of a silhouette.
Is this
in
the
that
mirror? This the mirror that we heard about?
But it very quickly disappears. So you can see as he brings you in and sort of shows you around, like, this is my very cool rug, this is my amazing mirror, that these sheets of parchment are covered with these elaborate diagrams of circles that have kind of runes drawn around them. And there's also a trunk in the room. And he says, okay, first of all, I'm Victor. I'm the Burgomaster's son or whatever. But also, I am a wizard. And I can make spells. And this book you're asking me about, that's how I learned to make the spell. So, I found it in the library, and that's how I can know magic.
Wow.
What manner of spells
Eric
can
is
you
super
do?
jealous of this guy.
Well,
His whole life.
you see my cat? It's actually not a normal cat at all.
What do you mean?
Well, it's actually... My cat was dead before, like a lot of years ago, actually. And actually, I took and cast a spell, and now...
This cat was dead?
Yeah, that's why you can... It actually doesn't even look like a real cat.
Now that you
because
mention
can
it,
see its
you're
bones.
right. Wow.
But I think it's actually cool to see its bones.
Wow.
Like the skull I threw on my door.
Looks really good.
How does
by the way.
Monto's like,
Oh, Monto is very confused about this.
Does
And Monto was barking at the
kids, yeah.
does the cat look? Is it behaving like a like? Okay, I
Like
guess
a
what I'm
cat.
asking is like, does it look like it's just laying there and like passively moving its tail like an animatronic that has light animation that can do like one thing, or
Is the behavior seem natural?
No, it
Does
seems
it
like it's
appear?
acting like a cat.
damn?
A few questions.
Okay.
Are they in timeout or?
The dolls?
No, it's stupid, but sometimes when I practice, I want to kind of like they're looking at me.
Oh,
I love this guy.
sometimes
I get it.
before.
He's a serial killer waiting to happen.
Sometimes before.
Eric is like, I don't know what you're talking about, and he is palming his stuffed wolf in his pocket.
I do the same thing before I prepare my sermons. I look at the group like, don't say anything. The other question I was going to... Well, actually, I have more questions than that. Do you know
Great start.
anything about the symbol on the cover of this book that you have?
No, I mean, it looks cool.
It does.
Uh-huh. Well, see, I
Probably it's the symbol of the guy who wrote the book.
suppose
The
that makes
John
sense.
D symbol.
No, John D is the other guy. This
Oh.
is a mage who lives here called Hartlieb.
Oh.
And he's still around?
I think he died, but he made a big tower, and it's on Lake Baratok, and you can't do magic there. but if you go there, then it probably has his stuff in it, but I don't know how to get there. But I want the stuff, so one day I'm gonna learn how to get there and get there myself and get the stuff from there.
That sounds amazing.
I see. Would you mind if we took a look at the book and then gave it right back to you? I promise none of us are practitioners of.
Well,
We wouldn't be able to do anything with the book.
Why are you so interested?
The symbol is
Well,
quite
You
cool,
make
as
it
you say.
sound so interesting.
and I'm we are familiar with, just in case there was anything we could learn from it.
Our goal is to be the most knowledgeable people in the world. We're world travelers, and we're here to find out everything we can. We found out that your library was the most known and admired throughout the lands, and we just want to learn as much as we can. And we admire you so much, and your ambition.
You sound like you're talking to my dad. Both of you guys roll deception checks.
— 19.
14.
Yeah, I don't believe you. Tell me why you really want to look at it.
Well, granted I'm no wizard, but, I can do, and I'm gonna pick up, are there any, like, other books around
Yeah.
that are in?
Library.
Yeah. Just gonna grab a, I thought we moved to it.
Yeah, we're upstairs.
There's a bookcase.
But there's a bookcase.
Oh, right, okay. So I'm gonna grab just, like, any random book off the bookcase, and
Whoa, hey, that's my book.
I'm just gonna show you something. I promise you it'll be fine.
That's one of my favorite ones. I read it so many times.
Well,
Animorphs.
hold on. Hold on. Rachel dies
It's a
at
whole
the end.
series.
Don't read it.
It's a whole
Takes a very dark turn.
If you take that one, it's not going to be possible to read the other ones. Even though I already read it,
I know, and everyone's mad that it gets so dark, but it's like it's a book about child soldiers. What did you expect?
That's true.
Anyway, let me show you something really quick. Don't freak out.
Okay.
I'm no wizard, but I can do myself a bit of magic. So Rowan's gonna tear the page, and then kind of give him a look, and then cast mending on it, so the page like stitches itself back together.
Wow. Okay, well, that is pretty cool.
So I can do that. I want to know how to do.
I actually am learning how to do that too. It's in the book.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, maybe we can
It's on page 11 and a half.
get together
at the top.
and mend things sometime. If anyone ever breaks your glasses, I'm your guy. But I want to gain more magic knowledge.
You could do a trade.
That's why I would want to take a look at the book. I could teach you something if you'd let us take a
Okay.
look at the book.
Roll a persuasion check.
Guidance.
Can I guidance myself? Because my persuasion is not good. Oh no. Oh no. That's an 11.
I don't think you can do two guidances.
Plus.
What do you mean?
Like, you can't stack guidance, can you?
No.
No.
That's a 15 total.
He says, I don't think it would be right. He says, one of the things that Hartleyb always said is that magic should be used not just for pursuit of knowledge, but for pursuit of good. So,
What good are you pursuing?
I'm trying to do something really good, and I can't tell you about it, but it's good. It's my secret.
Well,
Something for your father's festival?
No, that's stupid. It's not even good. The whole thing is stupid.
Don't let him hear you say that.
I don't care. I'm not scared of him.
And
Well, we are actually doing it for good.
yeah,
Why we wrote the book.
we fear maybe,
Oh, thank God. I didn't know you were doing this for good.
Yeah. What is it? What are you doing?
well, we happen to find potentially something of Hartlieb's next to someone who was unfortunately deceased and missing their head. And I'll show him the ring with the same symbol on
It's
it.
the same symbol.
That was sort of apologies for the.
Wait a minute. Do you think this means that maybe the ring is Hartlieb's?
What do you think?
It seems likely, does it not?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
we were hoping you would have crafted it because you're such a big fan and obviously capable of such brilliant
I
handiwork.
didn't make it, but I wanted to. Oh, thanks for the raid.
Oh. Hello.
I would have wanted to make it, but it's I don't know how to make a ring yet, but maybe in the book I can learn. But okay, what if I tell you a secret I know, which is where the Tower of Hartlieb is, then you can go and find what you need to find for good. And if you find anything there, like a big staff or something, anything like that, but for example, a big staff or anything, then you have to bring it to me. And I'll use that for good too. And then we both do good, and we honor the word of Hartlieb. And he holds the book to his chest.
Maybe I'll just like deal.
I'll carry it with my big muscles.
Yeah. He seems pretty artificeless, but can I try to assess like how much we can trust this?
Yes.
I mean, this
Roll
is
an insight check.
19.
You feel
Damn.
pretty secure in your understanding and your assessment that he is telling the truth, that he is trying to do good, that he is a little bitch, a teenager,
Yeah.
but he does.
I wish that was revealed more in Insight checks.
You have discovered that he has the essence of a little bitch. But that he does intend to make good on his word.
And I assume there's probably something left in there for him to believe that he wants to do something good, and that something good is maybe not the way we perceive good or we think would be good.
That's a lot of insight you're asking for.
I'm just that isn't like a thing that a check that can be made. It's just like
He seems like he's
That's what I
trying
got,
to
too.
do something and he needs you to retrieve something for him that he genuinely believes is good, and he's kind of nervous about it. I'll say that.
is this a specific item you were looking for? I just should so we can look out for it when.
Okay, I'll tell you the truth, because we're both doing good. I do want. I want his staff. It's supposed to be in his tower. So if you get the staff for me, then I can use it.
We still haven't seen the book though, right? He's still holding this book.
Yes, he's still holding the book.
Yeah. Although
This
making
it
a
might
deal.
just be a spell
making a
book,
deal.
in
yeah,
which case it's not.
we don't really.
Yeah,
At this point, we sort of got the information.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of seems like it is.
Well,
we
yeah,
made a deal. We're crushing it.
We'll seek this tower out.
Wow, we're just being
That staff is
Okay,
as good
wow.
as
we're
yours.
being raided left and right here. That's crazy.
The staff is as good as yours.
And make sure to follow if you're interested. So, okay, here's the thing. Okay, no take backsies, but The tower is on Lake Baratok, but I don't know how to get to Lake Baratok. And it's hard to get there. And you probably need some help to get there. And I don't know what the road is, but I think I know who can help you. Because last summer, my dad made me leave the house to learn how to be a hunter, and I don't want to be a hunter or even ever go outside, but he made me do it. And actually, the guy who was teaching me was really cool, and he had a cool friend too. And they hunt the wolves, and they killed so many of them, and they protect the village. But I couldn't do it myself. But they have a shack by Lake Zarovich, which is close to here. It's only a 20-minute walk, and you can go there, and then they can take you to the tower in Lake Baratok. And I was actually going to already do that, but my dad says I can't. But I don't care. But I can't do it then.
Well, it seems like we have a mutually beneficial situation.
I think it's mutually beneficial.
And Rowan takes a look at the party map and says, Lady Lan, actually, Lake Baratok is on the way to Kresk.
That's true. I know that because it's west of here, and Kresk is west of here.
You know a great deal of
He's
things.
so worldly.
Yeah,
Truly wise beyond his years.
I know. And if you want to find the hunters, Soldar and Evgeny, you can go to their shack, and I'll show you on your map where it is. And usually after they come back from checking traps in the morning, because I was with them last summer, then they're just there and they drink.
That sounds fun.
They sound pretty cool.
I said they're cool already.
I'm just agreeing with you. So they sound cool.
Okay. Cool.
Cannot wait to get away from this kid.
Just so we can check, would you
Yeah.
mind if we took a look at just in case there's anything that would help us at the tower, or
You can borrow the book for 1 minute, but I'm gonna count. 1. He holds it out. 1, 3.
can I make some kind of, I guess,
1.
can I try to find something
Hold on.
in the book?
I gotta think of how many syllables that's it. 1. Barovia. 2. Barovia. 3. Barovia. Also, he sounds kind of like a vampire, which is also good.
I like that he had to do math to calculate how many syllables equal a second.
So it is a spell book, in fact. And none of you guys can really make heads or tails of it because it's a wizard spell book.
So yeah, there's no writing in it that is anything but arcane.
There is, but it's sort of describing the effects of the spell. So it says this one is for transporting to different planes. This one is for reanimating dead things. So there are a few. It seems to be a very advanced spell book. It's got everything in it.
Rowan kind of takes a look at one of the pages and they have to use material components. Can you believe this? Must be such a hassle.
Oh, I saw that and I didn't know what it means.
So you have to use actual stuff. I just kind of pull from the
Wait, hold on.
energy of nature.
And then he says, well, what kind of stuff?
Oh gosh, it depends on the spell. Sometimes you might need a sprig of holly or a piece of string. Sometimes you need easy
string.
things
I
like
have string.
bat guano.
Iguanos. I don't even think that they have them here, but it's in one of the books I read.
Well, you
Okay.
certainly have bats.
There was a bunch of twigs in the other room.
Well, I have to have harpsichord practice, and I think pretty soon.
Oh, I'm
So-
sorry.
Are there? Well, I still have time. Are
No,
there?
I actually like it, and I'm good at it.
I bet.
while I still have time with the book, are there any
Bet.
spells in it? The effects of I can't read the spells, but the effects. Do any of them seem like enchantments or traps that might be placed upon? I don't know, a tower.
Yes. There is one in particular that catches your eye, and it is a some sort of a ward that's placed on the door of the tower. And there's a drawing there of what looks like that same circle that you see on the ring, but without the lines.
Oh. Is that
So it's got the circle
key?
and-
Is that the entry code?
Could be.
So it's like the circles around it, but not the symbol in the midst.
Nor the in all of the symbols on the outside are there, rather than just the two symbols that you see here.
Oh. Huh.
Interesting.
Interesting.
But those two symbols are in the same position relative to one another on the door.
Right.
If you want to show the viewers that thing.
Yeah, just put it in the middle there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, perfect.
Oh,
very
wow! What a toss!
Great toss.
It didn't
Oh, wait,
end
but you
up
gotta
on the
show it.
stream.
Yeah, you gotta show it.
though.
Yeah. No, I can do that.
Wow, chat will never believe you that you made that toss in one toss.
Yeah.
They're gonna think
No.
we placed it ahead
I
of
did
time.
do it.
Yeah. We definitely filmed this in advance and took great care to practice that.
Yeah.
That's why we're all perfectly framed.
Well, I think with that, Victor quickly escorts you from the attic and secrets you back to the library. And from there, Claudia, the maid that initially brought you into the house, says, I'm afraid that the Burgomaster says that your time is up. He asks for you to...
He's gonna kill us?
He asks for you to return in no more than 2 days' time to see to the matter that... He said, that's all. See to the matter. I'm sure you know what he means. And...
That's kind of nice. I wish more people would do that on social visits. At the end of it, they just go,
Bye.
I want to see you in 2 weeks, no less than 2 weeks.
Eric's never been.
Right, I had a friend that used to say, like, do you want to come hang out with me for, like, 4 or 5 hours? And honestly, it was the best thing ever.
Sure.
You just always knew what to expect.
That's nice.
Eric's never been invited back in his life.
Invited. By the way, if Victor wants to hang out.
Yeah, he's... Oh, so he is your type.
No, I don't know. Actually.
Eric did seem genuinely impressed. But of course, Victor doesn't even... The irony of this is that it's like a...
Eric knows how to survive by placating assholes.
True.
But Eric's been periwinkle this whole time, smiling this
Yeah.
whole time.
It works better
the
as
illusion has
periwinkle.
never stopped.
Oh, and as you're... When you were leaving, Victor said, okay, goodbye, Sermon. Because he'd never heard that word before, and he thinks that how you say "sir" where you're
Yeah,
from.
yeah.
So
Thank you.
Because he said, I'm going to go do one of my sermons, and Victor himself, he
Yeah.
usually is like, I'm going to go do one of my Victors.
Yeah. Flameo, hot man.
So, you're escorted from the house. Burgomaster Velakovich does expect some more work from you, but now you have at least someone who can help you get to the tower, which we'll perhaps do next session.
So we have 2 days
Woo!
to get back to him.
4 days before the full moon.
4 days before the full moon, 4 days before the festival.
Tonight
He
we
said-
have
he
to go
said
to dinner.
earlier
Yes.
than 2 days.
Okay, but the... Oh, no, earlier than 2 days.
No,
No,
later.
later.
No, later.
Oh, I thought you said no.
But the festival is
I
in-
got it all confused.
Yes.
It was
The festival is in
don't
4 days.
come back for 2 days.
The festival. Oh yeah, maybe I said even though sooner. The festival is in 4 days, the same day as the night of the full moon.
Okay.
And dinner, we have dinner tonight.
And dinner plans tonight.
Wow, such a big.
Or you could say
I'm gonna want to go to bed early.
I feel like canceling most of these.
you could. Velaki is busy. Velaki's got a lot going on. You could.
My social battery.
We're all introverts, extreme
Text them
introverts.
like, I'm feeling kind of off today. I don't think I'll be the best company.
Texting Victor, what the fuck?
The O. Henry-esque irony of this is that Eric finally met like a friend, but he doesn't even know you're a kid.
No.
Oh.
He thinks you're a big man.
With dead eyes.
Yeah. And the most charming smile.
Who was really intrigued by all of his cool stuff.
Yeah. It's like
If you meet an adult like that, children, be wary.
Yeah.
It's like we did.
Wow, you have toys?
Yeah, imagine like Batista doing that.
No.
It's like we gave like Samara from The Ring out of disguise.
Yes. Yeah.
And they're all like the behavior has not really changed.
Oh.
Still a creepy child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But appears like a pleasant
Like
young
Dave
man.
Bautista.
Yeah, so it is kind of like...
Yeah. 7 days!
Oh my god, that would be so much scarier. 7 days!
Just like a guy with a really well-defined torso
what
and
the
like
fuck?
big
And then it's gone.
arms.
Yep.
Hey!
Well,
6 days!
speaking of 7 days, is that our next session, or
Let's.
is more indisposed?
I'll be at C2E2 next week.
Okay.
That sounds cool. It rhymes. What is that?
Right? It's a convention in
Tight.
Chicago.
A Chicago convention.
See some cool panels, see a Critical Role live show, which I'm excited about.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well then...
But don't watch them. Watch us.
Yeah.
It is on Thursday.
We'll be
actually.
back.
Really?
Yeah.
What am I doing?
We'll be back in 2 weeks. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to follow. And
Thanks for being here.
and as we always like to say,
Oh.
isn't Thursday?
That's good.
Yeah, we started.
Not much is known about the sharp-featured androgynous figure come to Barovia in a high-coloured violet coat with closely shorn hair. Rowan Damnalik makes himself of use to the nobles they travel with, entertaining with a classic tune and his high ethereal voice, not to mention a good bit of gossip with the ladies of the court. Rowan may well imitate the aloof manner of a courtier, but just beneath a practiced facade of calm rages a great anger. And there's something else about them too, something unsettling, ancient, and cold.
Father Esquivel is an ordained priest, sent far from home on missionary work. Though his vestments are threadbare, his hygiene limited, and his ecclesiastical knowledge a bit lacking, he is empathetic and friendly enough. He's on the younger side for a priest, but whatever his life before the cloth, it must weigh on him heavily, for physically he seems aged well beyond his years. He claims to be happy in company and sharing the difficulties of the road, but you might get the sense his smile is feigned.
Even while petting her ornery pet Pekingese Monto, Lady Lan never smiles. A severe Chinese lady dressed in elaborate silks and other finery, Lady Lan never seems to have a hair or jewel out of place. Despite having traveled many months through the deserts of the Silk Road and faced all manner of challenges, you will never see her with a smudge in her makeup. And yet, anyone who spends enough time with her will notice an anger glimmering behind this otherwise impenetrable exterior. Something must give.
Erik von Eggenberg is a pale young boy, his skin almost translucent in the dim light. His eyes, the color of a stormy sea, hold a lifetime of unspoken sorrows, fixed upon the arabesques of the moldering wallpaper, seeking patterns that do not exist. His hair, a messy jet black patch, appears to be thinning. He moves with the jerky grace of a puppet, his limbs seemingly not entirely his own. Clutched firmly in his hand is a ruby brooch, a glimmer of hope in a life filled with darkness. Whispers follow him, telling of a noble lineage abandoned, a sinister apprenticeship, and a mysterious benefactor offering salvation in a distant land. There is an unsettling aura that surrounds him, a disquiet that hints at secrets best left undisturbed.